I did my project on this relatively new development called stem cell therapy, and there's been kind of debate over the last few years on whether or not this new thing is ethical or if it could be really beneficial to us. So stem cell therapy, basically, just to outline it, it's so stem cells are these cells that can be harvested and then manipulated and then created into any other type of cell. So they can be created into like a muscle cell or a liver cell or like a heart cell or something like that. So these types of cells are used to prevent diseases or they're used to help heal an injury or something. So my way of describing a stem cell is kind of like the master key of cells, like they're interchangeable with any type of cells. So some common things that stem cells are used for now, these are some approved treatments. Some of them are bone marrow transplants, arthritis issues, some aid in muscle repairs. I actually had a stem cell treatment done when I injured my knee. That was part of my surgery. And some nerve repairs. And then here's just a quick video describing.
Hey there, welcome to Life Night. This is in medicine is stem cell research. And don't forget, is stem cell research. You may have heard of stem cells before, but there's a lot of mystery about what they actually do. Why is it such a promising new field? Well, to answer this, let's shrink down to the size of a cell. Normal cells in the body are specialized. We have neurons in the brain, red blood cells in our blood, and cells that make up your muscles and bones. All of these cells carry the same DNA, which is unique to you, unless you're an identical twin. But what makes the cells different is that some of them have certain genes turned either on or off. The genes are encoded in the DNA, which is all the same, but the gene expression is different. This means that the genes expressed in a red blood cell are different than the genes expressed in a lung cell. And that lung cell will always stay a lung cell. It will not change into a red blood cell one day. However, stem cells can. Stem cells are unspecialized cells that give rise to specialized cells in a process called differentiation. When a stem cell divides, the new cells can either remain as stem cells or become other cells with a specialized function, like muscle cells. There's a lot of cell talk, but we're going to keep going. There are two main types of stem cells, those found in adult.
So this new information over the last few years has raised the question, should stem cell research be abandoned or should it be pursued further? Some reasons that it should be stopped are that they violate religious beliefs. People believe that God has control over everything, God has control over life and the healing of people. And since some stem cells are harvested from donated embryos from like abortions or stillbirths, it raises a question on whether or not a life was taken. These procedures can be very expensive, which some people are saying that it could cause a very bad inequality between nations and even within nations. Some more reasons it should be abandoned is because doctors and researchers don't really know enough about the long-term effects of it. There's a side effects possible that we don't know about. Stem cell therapy can result in unwanted growths in the wrong places. I was reading on a story about a girl who had some stem cells injected into her face, and she actually ended up growing some bones in there that had to be removed because they ended up looking really, really weird. Reasons that it should be continued is because it could be a cure to basically almost everything. And here are some examples of that. For example, like cancer, 7.2 million people die each year around the world. And with diabetes, about 200,000 Americans under the age of 20 are suffering with diabetes. And Alzheimer's disease affects 5 million people. And it could do something like help a failing heart or a failing liver or something like that. And it could help people with Parkinson's disease, which is kind of a degenerative disease. And it could eventually be made into a degenerative medicine or reversing medicine, which could expand the life of human beings. And my conclusion is I think that stem cell therapy procedures need to be advanced because I think there's too much good that can come from it, and we would lose out on an opportunity if we stopped. I think that there are also many dangers, and that if we stop, or that if it's continued, that it needs to be with extreme caution, and there needs to be regulations put on by the government. And yeah, and there my work cited.